Good morning, everybody. How is it going? And welcome to another episode of Kampung Language. And in this episode, we will talk about hobby. Okay, so are you ready for today's episode? Let's get it on right now, and welcome to Kampung Language. Talking about hobby, so we will learn new things and some things in here. You can read it from table of the contents. The first one we will learn is what is a hobby, and the second one, what is considered as a hobby. The third one is an examples of hobbies, and the last one, what can you achieve by doing your hobbies. Alright, what is a hobby? I think some of you will say that eating is your hobby, watching, dancing, reading, singing. But what is a hobby actually? Is it something that we do every time, every day? Or is it something that we like to do? Or is it something that we like to do for fun? Well, before we can talk about what is a hobby, let's continue to the next slide to know what is exactly a hobby is. Before we know what is a hobby, we need to know what is considered as a hobby. There are some things that might be your hobby, but actually it's not a hobby, okay? So we can see from the first things here, it is rarely. So it's not something that you can do every day all the time. Instead, you're only able to do it on your free time. Or we can say that you do it rarely instead of you do it every time. So from this explanation, we can tell that eating is not your hobby, but it's part of your life. Okay? The next one is fun. Okay? So it's fun. A hobby is what you do for having fun. Sometimes when you like to watching a movie, sing a song, dancing, you're happy about it. When you do it, you feel happy. So it's fun, right? And then the next one is enjoyable. A hobby should be enjoyable for the one who do it. So if you have a hobby but you don't enjoy it, I don't know, I think that's not the right hobby for you. So you need to choose another hobby that might suit you and enjoyable for you. And the last one is the most important one, that hobby is not your daily activities. What is daily activities? Eating, watching movies, and listening to music. Running, walking, well, anything in particular that you can do it every time, every day, on your daily basis is not considered as a hobby, since you can do it every time. So, do you get it? Do you understand about what is considered as a hobby? And now, we will continue to do our question before. What is a hobby? So from the page before, we can conclude that a hobby is considered to be a regular activity that is done for enjoyment, typically during your free time. And these are the examples of hobbies. As you can see, there's a lot of hobbies, and here's some of them, such as dancing, swimming, reading, collecting antique things such as stamps, vinyl, shoes, helmets perhaps, singing, doing sports such as running, football, volleyball, basketball. Esports are some things that is actually played in an online meeting, such as online games, Free Fire, PUBG Mobile, or the original PUBG, Dota, CSGO, and Mobile Legend, and then writing, cooking, fishing, and gardening. Talking about hobbies, since not a lot of people have the same hobbies or they don't have the same interests, so there are lots of hobbies out there and each one is unique. As I said before, there are someone that likes to collecting stamps and even someone that like to doing esports such as playing online games. And it's not a bad hobby. Everyone is unique. So what can we do with our hobbies actually? Well, some hobbies can get you success in your life. There's a lot of example for people that like to write, that like to cook, that like to play games. There's a lot of people that can achieve success in their life by doing their hobbies steadily and doing it every time they can. And don't forget, they do it neatly. Not only on their free time, but they do it because they wanted to. And then some hobbies could get you lots of money. What are those kind of hobbies? Do you know what is it? Those painters or those that like to paint could get lots of money from their painting. Another example, those that like to cook, those that like to read, those that like to dance. Some people, if they can get enough output from their hobbies, they could get anything from their life, not to mention money. Right now, you already understand about the hobbies, what kind of hobbies, and what hobbies that can get you into the society. Right now, I will tell you about how you can introduce your hobbies or show your hobbies to another people. Now, we can read from our page. Hi, my name is Chandra. I am a student and I live in Salatiga. My hobbies are watching movies and playing games. I love to do those things because it's fun to do. And my favorite movies is The Lord of the Rings. So, by doing so, you can tell people that you don't only have that hobby, but you can explain them what the hobby is or what is your favorite activities from your hobby. And there's a lot of things that you can show to people about hobbies. Now, you already watched the example, okay? They're using the adverb or frequencies. You can see from the pages, there are 10 examples of the adverb of frequency. From always, which you always do it every time, and never, which means that you are not doing it, not by want, okay? So there's always, usually, normally, often, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, rarely, and never. Here's another example on how you can write those adverbs of frequencies in the sentence. The first one is I often watch movies on the weekend at home, and I watch movies at the cinema once a month. The next one is I always play games after studying and at weekend. And then sometimes I sing a song or two when I'm on my free time. And then the last one is I'm rarely read book on my weekend because it's boring. And as usual, Kampung Language will give you an assignment. And for today's episode assignment is you should record your description of your hobby and send the voice note to Miss Wiwit's WhatsApp number. Remember, the deadline is on Friday, 8th October 2021 at 1 p.m. Remember? Thank you very much, and that's all from today's episode in Kampung Language. Happy learning and good luck, and I'll see you again in the next episode of Kampung Language. Goodbye!